The patterns match. It's worse than we thought. What do we do? We can't unsee this.
I saw something in electrical. What did you see? I saw it too. I was in the vents.
The vents? Really?
The truth is, one of us is not who they seem.
So it's true.
Who?
Okay, so we're all processing this. The floor is my safe space now. Are you okay down there? We have to be smart about this. Reacting with anger won't help. We need to figure out what happened and plan our next move.
I'm sorry. I was scared and I made a mistake. I hope you can forgive me.
I had to say it. It was the only way. Now we just keep moving.
Nobody warned us about the third round. Nobody warns you about anything on this ship anymore. You just wake up, you do your tasks, and you find out what's broken about reality today when it breaks. This round, it was the voices. It started in communications. White was there first, and of course White was there first. Comms is basically his home address at this point. Running the comms restore task. Standard procedure. Flip the switches, align the frequencies, done in 40 seconds. He was on the last switch when he heard it. His own voice, coming out of the comm speaker, saying the last thing he'd said out loud, which had been almost done to nobody in particular. Except the voice said, "Almost gone." White told himself it was feedback. Audio feedback. The comm system does weird things when it's being repaired. Everybody knows that. Frequencies bleed, signals cross. You hear static that sounds like words sometimes. That's just physics. He finished the task and walked out. He did not tell anyone for 11 more minutes. He told me later it was because he needed to be sure. I think it was because he wasn't ready to be right. Cyan was next. He was an admin doing the map task. Cyan is meticulous about admin. He treats the map like personal property. And he was describing to himself quietly, in that half-mumble people do when they're concentrating, what he was doing. "Marking the eastern corridor," he said to no one. The admin comm panel said back to him, in his own voice, with his own accent, perfectly reproduced, "Marking the eastern coffin." Cyan stood very still. Then he looked at his sombrero as if it might have an explanation. It did not. He came to find me. I was in electrical. I keep ending up in electrical. I think the ship is doing it deliberately at this point. And Cyan appeared in the doorway with the energy of a man who has a very specific and very upsetting thing to report, but is going to report it with dignity or die trying. He told me what happened. I told him about White's incident. We stood there in electrical for a moment doing the silent calculation all crewmates do when two data points suddenly become a pattern. "The comms," I said. "The comms," Cyan agreed. We pulled everyone together. Not a full emergency meeting. We'd learned from Green's complaints about wasted meetings. Just a quiet convergence in the cafeteria. I laid it out. White confirmed his incident. Cyan confirmed his. Then Blue said, very carefully, that she had also heard something in medbay when she was running the scan. She hadn't mentioned it, because what she'd heard had been her own voice saying, "Scan complete," except what came back through the medbay intercom was gone, complete. Blue does not use ellipses when she speaks. Whatever spoke through that intercom did. Green said it was a prank. Green always says it's a prank. It's his first, second, and third defense mechanism, and I think if you surgically removed "it's a prank" from Green's vocabulary, he would simply cease to function. Yellow said, "Okay, but what if it isn't though?" And Green said, "It isn't." And Yellow said, "But what if?" And this went on for a while. Black ended it. Black ends most things, eventually. He just said, "It's using the comms because it knows we can't shut the comms off. We need comms. Whatever it is, it knows that." The cafeteria got quiet in a very specific way. We decided to test it. Controlled experiment. Blue's idea, of course Blue's idea, Blue treats everything like a controlled experiment, including her own fear. The plan. One crewmate goes to comms, says a specific phrase. We monitor what comes back. We document the change. Nobody volunteered immediately. Then Yellow said, "I'll do it," with the energy of someone who has decided that being scared and being brave are the same thing if you commit hard enough. Yellow went to comms. We monitored from the hallway, door open, the way you watch someone walk into something you're not brave enough to walk into yourself. Yellow stood at the comm panel, took a breath, said clearly, loud enough for all of us to hear, "The ship is safe and everyone is fine." The comm panel was quiet for 3 seconds. Then it played back Yellow's voice, and the voice said, "The ship is a grave and everyone is mine." Yellow walked out of that room very calmly, and then sat down on the hallway floor and did not get up for about 2 minutes. Nobody rushed him. You don't rush someone who just had their own voice tell them everyone is theirs. White was the one who finally said out loud what we were all thinking. It's not just repeating us, it's answering. It understands what we're saying, and it's answering. The propeller beanie started spinning again, slowly. Yellow said from the floor, "Great, the ghost is conversational. Wonderful. Love that for us." Blue took over the strategy at that point, which is correct. Blue should always take over strategy. Blue's brain is the most useful thing on this ship, and I include the engines in that comparison. She said, "It's using our words because it doesn't have its own anymore. Or it does, but we can't hear them directly. The comm system is translating. It's not haunting us. It's trying to communicate." "By telling Yellow everyone is his?" Green said. "By telling us it's still here," Blue said. "And that it knows we are too." We tried again. Blue's way this time. Not a test. A conversation. Cyan went in. Because Cyan volunteers for things with a dignity that makes everyone else feel like they should too. He stood at the comm panel and he said, and I'm quoting exactly, "We know you're here. We're listening." The panel was quiet for 5 seconds, then 7. We thought maybe it wasn't going to answer. Then it played back Cyan's voice and it said, "We know you're here. We buried you." Nobody talked for a while after that, because "we buried you" wasn't wrong. That's the thing. That's what the silence was made of. We had ejected someone, voted them out, watched the hatch open, watched them go into the black, and that is, functionally, a burial. We just never called it that before. Green sat down next to Yellow on the floor. That told me more about how Green was feeling than anything Green has ever said out loud. Blue asked it a direct question. She went in alone. We tried to stop her. She walked past us like we weren't there, which is very Blue. And she stood at the comm panel and she said, "Were you the imposter?" We held our breath in the hallway. The panel hummed. The amber pulsed twice. Cyan's recorded voice played back from the previous session, stitched together from fragments. Now. You're here." Then silence. Then, in a voice none of us recognized. Not a playback, not an echo, something new. A single word. No. We all went in after that. All 7 of us, crowded into communications in a way the room was not designed to accommodate, and nobody cared. Blue continued. "Were you voted out unfairly?" The panel hummed. Then it played back Yellow's voice from earlier, the test phrase, but edited, rearranged just 4 words. "Everyone is fine, fine." It was trying to say yes, with the only words it had. "Can you tell us who you are?" Blue asked. The panel went quiet for longer this time, 12 seconds. We counted. Then it began playing back fragments, pieces of conversations from this round and rounds before, stitched together into something that wasn't quite language but was trying to be. White's voice saying round, Cyan's voice saying first, Red's voice, my voice, saying we. A long pause. Then, very quietly, in that new voice that wasn't any of ours, forgotten. Forgotten. Not a name. Not a color. Not a number on the crew manifest. Just the thing it had become when we stopped remembering it. Yellow said, "That's not a name." And White said, "No." And Yellow said, "That's what we made it." And the propeller beanie stopped again, and Yellow stared at the panel and said quietly, in the voice he uses when he's not performing cheerful anymore, "I'm sorry. I voted for you, and I'm sorry." The panel hummed, played back Yellow's voice from the test. "The ship is safe." Just those 4 words. Nothing changed, nothing twisted. Safe. One by one, the others said it too. Not a ritual, not organized. Just people saying a thing that needed to be said in the order they were ready to say it. Cyan said it in 2 languages. Because of course he did. Because Cyan contains multitudes under that sombrero. Green said it fast and quiet and looked at the wall while he said it, which is exactly how Green would apologize for something. Quickly, like removing a splinter, looking away so nobody could confirm it happened. Black said nothing. He walked to the panel and stood in front of it for a long time and then nodded once. Slowly. Whatever that meant to him, it seemed to be enough. The panel pulsed once in response. Then White did something nobody expected. Not even White, I think. He raised the microphone. The one he carries everywhere. The one that is so permanently part of him that we forget it's a choice. He held it toward the comm panel speaker like he was offering it. "You can use this," he said. "If you want. It's better than the comm system." The panel was quiet. Then the microphone, White's microphone, the one in his hand, emitted one clear tone. Not a voice, not a word, just a tone. Clean and long and held. White held it steady until the tone finished. After that, the amber light faded. Slowly. The way a fire goes out when it's been properly finished rather than extinguished. Not cut off, just done. The comm panel returned to its normal standby blue. The speakers went quiet. The frequency display flatlined in the calm way, not the bad way. We stood in the dark comms room for a moment before someone turned the light back on. "Is it gone?" Yellow asked. "I think it said what it needed to say," Blue said. "We said what we needed to say," Red said. "Me? I said that. I surprised myself. We finished the tasks, all of them, this time by ourselves. No phantom completions, no ghost doing our work for us." The taskbar climbed the normal way, slowly, honestly. It felt different. Better and worse at the same time. Harder, I mean. Doing your own work is harder. But it's yours. But here's the thing I keep coming back to. The voice. The new voice. The one that wasn't any of ours. It only spoke once. One word. Forgotten. It didn't tell us who voted first. It didn't accuse anyone. It didn't name itself. It gave us the only thing it had left to give. The truth of what had happened to it. And we gave it back its name. Not a color. Not a slot on the manifest. We called it Forgotten, and in doing that, we made sure it wasn't anymore. We won again. 3 rounds, 3 ghosts, 3 times the taskbar hit 100, and nobody felt purely good about it. Cyan said, walking out of the cafeteria after the victory screen, "You know what I think? I think every round we have ever played has had someone like this. Someone we voted wrong. We just never listened before." Nobody argued with that. I wish someone had argued with that. The comms were quiet for the rest of that round. The next round too. Normal blue standby, normal task sounds, normal everything. But I've noticed something since. When I'm alone in a room, any room, not just comms, and I talk to myself the way you do when you're concentrating, the way Cyan does, the way we all do. I choose my words more carefully now. Because something was listening, and something heard. And I'm not entirely sure it was only the ghost.